Very many years ago, in the lush kingdom of Inri, there lived a young man named Chukwudi. He was the son of a noble, known for his wisdom and faith. Chukwudi came from the Igbo tribe, a people rich in culture and traditions. His friends, Obina, Ifai, and Nnamdi, were just as wise and faithful. They often gathered under the ancient Iroko tree to discuss their dreams and hopes for their beloved land. One day, a great darkness fell upon Inri. A powerful empire from across the great rivers, ruled by the Yoruba king, Oba Nebudiga, invaded their land. The warriors of Inri were no match for the invaders, and soon many were captured and taken away as slaves. Among those taken were Chukwudi and his friends. Their hearts were heavy with sorrow as they left behind their families and the land they loved. The journey was long and treacherous. They were taken to the kingdom of Eko, a bustling city with tall palm trees and grand palaces. The streets were lined with merchants selling vibrant fabrics, aromatic spices, and intricate carvings. The air was filled with the sounds of drumming and the chatter of people from different lands. As they walked through the city, Chukwudi and his friends marveled at the grandeur but kept their heads held high, their spirits unbroken. Oba Nebudiga had taken not only the people of Inri, but also their treasures, including valuable artifacts and furnishings from their sacred places. The king ordered his right-hand man, Otumba, to select young men from the royal family and nobility from the people of Inri, those who were healthy, handsome, intelligent, and well-educated. They were to be trained in the ways of Eko nobility, including the language and the law of the land. Otumba found Chukwudi, Obina, Ifeanyi, and Nnamdi among those selected. For 3 years, these young men were to be trained and served the best food and wine from the king's table. However, Chukwudi determined that he would not eat from the royal diet. He asked Otumba to exempt them from the royal menu because it was against his people's customs. Please, let us eat only vegetables and drink water for 10 days. Then compare our appearances with that of the young men who eat the royal food and decide based on what you see, Chukwudi said. Otumba was torn. He liked Chukwudi, but was afraid of the king's wrath if the young men did not look as healthy. However, he agreed to the test. After 10 days, Chukwudi and his friends appeared healthier and more robust than all others. So Otumba continued to feed them with vegetables as they requested. After the end of the 3 years, a ceremony was organized to present the young men before Oba Nebudiga. They all went through different degrees of testing to display all that they were capable of. The top 10 of the young men were selected to be interviewed by the king. And Oba Nebudiga found Chukwudi and all his friends far superior to all the other young men in his kingdom, in terms of strength, wisdom, and intelligence. He said, "These men are 10 times better than all the magicians and sorcerers in my kingdom." And so they were given positions among the noblemen of the kingdom of Eko who served the king. One day, Oba Nebudiga started having dreams that disturbed him deeply. He couldn't sleep. He called in all the Eko magicians, the witches, the cult, Ogboni, and even Ifa priests to interpret his dreams. When they came and lined up before the king, he said to them, "I had a dream that I can't get out of my mind. I can't sleep until I know what it means." So they answered, "Kabiesi, long live the king. Please tell us the dream and we will interpret it. The king replied, I can't tell you the dream because you might just come up with your own interpretation. First, tell me the dream and then its interpretation, and you will be greatly rewarded. This is how I know if you are truly able to tell me the true interpretation of the dream. The Ifa priest answered, Kabiesi, nobody anywhere can do what you ask. It is only the gods who can reveal this, and the gods don't live with us. That set the king off. He lost his temper and ordered that all of Eko's wise and powerful men be killed. When the death warrant was issued, Chukwudi and his companions were included. And so the chief of the royal guards, Balogun, began assembling the guards for the execution when Chukwudi heard about it. He wisely took him aside and quietly asked what was going on. Balogun told him of all that had transpired in the king's courts and the king's decree to put them all to death. Chukwudi then went before Oba Nebudiga and told him that he was able to tell the king his dream and also interpret it, but he needed some time. The king, appeased, granted him some time. Chukwudi then went home and told his friends what was going on. He asked them to pray to the God of heaven for mercy in solving this mystery so that the 4 of them wouldn't be killed along with the others. That night, God answered Chukwudi and showed him the dream and its meaning in a vision. When he woke up, he was happy and went on his knees praising God, who created all things and knows all things. So Chukwudi went back before the king and told him that he would interpret his dream to the king. The king asked Chukwudi, Are you sure you can do this? Tell me the dream I had and interpret it for me. Chukwudi answered the king, Kabiesi, truly, no man can solve the king's mystery, but there is a God in heaven who solves mysteries, and he has solved this one. He is letting you know the future. And so Chukwudi told Oba Nebudiga his dream and its interpretation. When he finished, Oba Nebudiga fell on his face in awe and ordered the offering of sacrifices and burning of incense in Chukwudi's honor. He said to him, Your God is beyond question the God of all gods, and he solves all mysteries. I know because you have told me my dream and its meaning. Then the king promoted Chukwudi to a high position in the kingdom, lavished him with gifts, and made him governor over the entire province of Eko and the chief in charge of all the Eko wise men. At Chukwudi's request, the king also gave Chukwudi's friends higher positions in the kingdom. This made some of the noblemen of Eko kingdom filled with jealousy and envy toward Chukwudi and his friends. They plotted different ways to implicate them before the king, so that the king could turn his back on them. And then the day finally came, when Oba Nebudiga built a grand statue of his image right in the city center, and there was to be a ceremony to unveil the statue. All the people in Eko kingdom, from and wide, were issued a decree from the king himself to be present, to all bow down and worship the image. But it was against the tradition and belief of the people of Enri to bow down or worship anything or anyone apart from their God. It was finally time to unveil the image. The band started to play. Horns, cymbals, shekere, and every musical instrument in the kingdom of Eko made a very loud melodious sound, which indicated that everyone should bow down and worship. And everyone did, except Chukwudi's friends, Obina, Ifeanyi, and Nnamdi. Because of how much the crowd was, The king was not aware that they didn't bow down, but the noblemen who had been seeking an opportunity to bring them down were the ones who called the king's attention to the matter. Look, they said, Kabiesi, your favored chiefs do not respect you or your image. They have refused to obey your decree. Then Oba Nebudiga ordered that they be brought before him. Is it true? Have you decided to disobey me, or are they telling a lie? Obina answered, Yes, Kabiesi, it is true. We cannot bow down to worship your image, for it is against our culture and our beliefs. Oba Nebudiga got very upset. Do you realize the implication of what you have just said? You would dare defy me before the whole of Eko kingdom. Ifeanyi, the soft-spoken one among them, answered the king. It is not our wish to defy you, Kabiesi, but we would rather defy you than defy our God. This made the king very angry, and he ordered that a burning furnace, where the king's enemies are usually thrown inside, be kindled 7 times hotter than before. He then turned to them. I would give you this one last chance, because you are my most favored chiefs. Bow down to my image, or you will all be thrown into this fire. Nnamdi said, Kabiesi, long may you reign. On this matter, even if you threaten to throw us into the fire, it won't change anything. The God we serve is able to deliver us from this fire. And even if he chooses not to, we will never bow down to your image. Then the king ordered that they be thrown into the furnace. The soldiers bound Obina, Ifeanyi, and Nnamdi. And as they carried them to be thrown into the fire, the flames of the fire burnt those soldiers who carried them. Then the strange thing occurred. As the king watched the 3 men in the fire, he said to his chiefs, Didn't we throw 3 men into the fire? Yes, Kabiesi, they replied. But I see 4 men unbound, walking in the fire, and the 4th one looks like a god. Oba Nebudiga called out to the men in the fire, Obina, Ifeanyi, Nnamdi, servants of the Most High God, come out of the fire and come to me. They walked out of the fire. All the king's chiefs, soldiers, and noblemen were amazed. They saw that the fire had no power over them. Their hair and their clothes were not burnt, and they didn't even smell like smoke. Oba Nebudiga exclaimed, Blessed be the God of these men. He sent his angel and rescued them. They defied me, the king's command, and were willing to give up their lives rather than worship any god except their own God. Therefore, hear, my people of the Eko kingdom, any person that speaks against the God of these men shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be destroyed, for there is no other God who can rescue in this way. Then the king promoted Obina, Ifeanyi, and Nnamdi to even higher positions than before in the kingdom of Eko. And so the legend of Chukwudi and his friends spread throughout the kingdom, a tale of unwavering faith and divine intervention, inspiring many to believe in the power of their God. Guess which Bible character represented my story in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you were blessed by this video. Please like, subscribe, and share so that others can be blessed too. I love you.